During the fall of 2025, I was fortunate enough to harvest this beautiful sow black bear in California Zone D8. I thought I'd make a short video to share my experience. This was my second year hunting this zone, and anyone who's hunted it will know it has beautiful open country, with relatively low hunting pressure depending on where you go. Early season at beginning of October offers warm hunting conditions even at elevations above 7,000 feet. Snow typically hits the ground as we near November when many smaller access roads tend to close. But boy, is it a tough zone with one of the lowest success rates of any zone in California, typically around 3% to 4% success rate among tag holders. A total of 1,180 bears was harvested across California that year, of which only a small fraction was harvested in D8. That said, there are plenty of bears in this zone, and as you get used to recognizing their habitat, your chances of spotting one in any given day is pretty good. Almost every time we see a bear in this zone, it is near a water source by a drainage or canyon like this. Bears like protection, which usually means they stick to higher elevations, rough cliffs, somewhere they can quickly disappear when they need to. If the food sources are present, there's water and protection via thick woods and rocky ridges. You should be on the right track to start scouting for movement at dawn and dusk. We first spotted the bear at dusk crossing a canyon the week before I harvested her. Then saw her a few more times in the days to follow, usually in and around the same spot. Once we had a general idea of her routine, we started plotting a strategy to cut her off. It took a couple of attempts to understand what time of day she moved through the various routes. Judging by the freshness of her scat, we could determine whether an area was usually traversed in the morning versus the evening. The darker the scat, the older it is. Light brown is usually only a few hours old. After hiking up one morning to try cut her off during her usual routine, I heard something move through the woods. My guess is she smelled me and went straight for the same safe zone she did when we put a chase on her in days before. I saw her moving fast, crossing the river, then running for shelter behind the thicket. After a few minutes, she moved to the left and I took the first shot at her at 200 yards. It was a rushed shot. After waiting a few minutes, I hiked up into that area. I saw black fur behind a log about 15 yards away. I thought she was down, but suddenly she took off again, and I had no idea where she went. An injured bear is not your friend. And in my head, I was juggling between using my pistol or my rifle, given that we were so close in thick oak woods. I hiked up some more and suddenly saw her again about 20 yards away, looking straight at me through the fork of a tree. She then took off a second time, and I was getting worried I might never see her again. I saw tracks all over and chose a path based on the tracks that looked the freshest. I kept following her path with my eyes on the ground, tracking her movement. Suddenly, I looked up, and 30 yards from me she was standing on her back legs, towering above me from behind a rock. The yellow drawing is exactly where she stood. I picked my rifle up and shot her straight in the chest. Then she bolted down the canyon. She was a big girl. My rope came in handy to move her around in position for field dressing. Got her skinned out and packed down the mountain. I was alone on this particular hunt. It was brutal to get it down some steep cliffs. Got her validated at the local Fish and Game office. They pulled a small tooth and I was on my way. They said she was an older bear, around 8 to 10 years old. Apparently they only had about 8 bears come in thus far that year across multiple zones that feed into that Fish and Game office, and this was the first black-colored black bear. The others were all brown or white, which I thought was interesting. After handing the head and shoulders in to be mounted, I started tanning the hide. After fleshing and salting the hide, I could see where my 2 shots hit. Added some gold leaf on the skull, which I'm really happy with, and the rug is now a permanent part of the lounge. I hope this video encourages you to go out and use this great privilege being able to hunt bear, especially in a beautiful state like California. Hunt responsibly and stay safe out there.